There is a common misconception, an idea that, while seemingly harmless and even well-intentioned, may actually be limiting your potential to control diabetes. The belief that high-quality protein, the kind that really makes a difference to your health and metabolism, is exclusively found in animal sources. You may have heard repeatedly that you need red meat, chicken, eggs, or dairy to keep your muscles strong, your appetite in check, and your energy stable. But what if I told you that there are plant-based protein sources that are just as powerful and in some ways even more beneficial for diabetes management, capable of effectively stabilizing your blood sugar, reducing the chronic inflammation that exacerbates the disease, and strengthening your body from the inside out, minimizing and in some cases even reducing your dependence on medication? Today, as a diabetes specialist with decades of practical experience gained from thousands of consultations, seeing the reality of patients, I want to show you a different path, a path that many of my patients have discovered with surprising success. You will learn about the 3 best plant-based proteins that have the potential to revolutionize not only the way you eat, but your entire diabetes management. Get ready for a conversation that goes far beyond the conventional, that can transform your diet, give you a new level of control over your health, and a freedom you may not have thought possible. Imagine being able to sit down at the table, enjoy tasty and nutritious meals, knowing that every bite is actively working in favor of your health, building a future with more energy and well-being. Over decades in my practice, I have heard countless moving stories. Patients who felt trapped by extremely restrictive and repetitive diets, desperately seeking lighter, more sustainable alternatives that offered more variety and enjoyment, but who lived in constant fear of compromising their glucose control when trying to reduce their consumption of animal protein. The constant worry about diabetes, with its fluctuating numbers and feared future complications, heart disease, kidney problems, neuropathies, is exhausting and can undermine anyone's hope. And often, the excessive focus on what to cut out and restrict in the diet makes us lose sight of the immense power of adding and nourishing the body with the right elements. Diabetes is not a sentence of deprivation. It is actually an invitation to make smarter, more conscious, and more empowering choices. And plant-based proteins are undoubtedly one of the most underrated and powerful tools in this process of empowerment and healing. To understand the crucial importance of protein, think of your body as a high-performance engine, a sophisticated and complex machine that works 24 hours a day. In order for it to run smoothly, efficiently, and without failure, it obviously needs the right fuel, carbohydrates in their smart form, but it also needs, just as vitally, the structural components that keep it strong, repaired, and constantly renewing itself. Proteins are precisely these structural components. They are not just for building and repairing muscles, as many people think. They are essential for producing enzymes that catalyze vital chemical reactions, for forming hormones that regulate virtually all of your body's functions, for transporting essential nutrients, and for maintaining a robust immune system. For diabetics, protein is critical for even more specific and powerful reasons. It has a minimal impact on raising blood glucose compared to carbohydrates. It helps control hunger much more effectively, prolonging satiety and preventing unnecessary snacking, and it is crucial for maintaining and building muscle mass, which is a metabolically active tissue essential for improving insulin sensitivity. Let's dive right in. The first plant-based protein I call the silent stabilizer is a nutritional powerhouse that, unfortunately, many still don't fully exploit in their diets. I'm talking about legumes. Think lentils, chickpeas, various types of beans, black, carioca, white, red, etc., and peas. These foods are true treasures for those seeking to control diabetes naturally and effectively. What makes them so extraordinarily effective? They are a perfect and synergistic combination of high-quality protein, abundant fiber, soluble and insoluble, and complex carbohydrates with a low glycemic index. To illustrate their mechanism of action, imagine your digestion as a river. When you consume simple refined carbohydrates, it's like a flood of water rushing through, causing a sudden and dangerous spike in glucose levels. Legumes, because they are incredibly rich in fiber, act as a smart and efficient dam system in this river. The soluble fiber found in legumes forms a viscous gel in your intestine, which acts as a physical barrier, significantly slowing down the rate of glucose absorption into the bloodstream, which helps prevent those sharp sugar spikes after meals. It's as if, instead of a flood, you have a steady, controlled flow. Insoluble fiber, on the other hand, increases the volume of your stool, promoting robust intestinal health and regular bowel movements, which is crucial since a healthy and balanced gut microbiota is increasingly linked to good glucose metabolism control and reduced systemic inflammation throughout the body. Science corroborates these benefits. A clinically relevant study published in the Archives of Internal Medicine showed that daily consumption of legumes as part of a healthy, balanced diet led to statistically significant improvements in blood glucose levels and cholesterol profiles in patients diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. They are therefore a key food for keeping your glucose stable, your heart protected, and your body deeply nourished. It is not enough to just include legumes sporadically in your meals. To reap the maximum and lasting benefits, it is best to incorporate them into at least 2 to 3 meals per week in generous portions. Add lentils to your soup or nutritious stews. Prepare a chickpea puree, the famous hummus, for healthy snacks with fresh vegetables, or include beans in your main meals as part of a balanced dish. I vividly remember João, a patient who for years depended almost exclusively on meat for his protein intake. He was constantly concerned about his cholesterol levels and his stubbornly high blood sugar. I suggested that he try including legumes in some of his weekly meals. Within a few months of consistent application, he told me with a smile I hadn't seen in a long time, "Doctor, not only have my glucose and cholesterol levels improved noticeably, but I feel lighter, more energetic, and incredibly satisfied for much longer after meals. I thought I would be hungry, but it's exactly the opposite. I feel much more satiated and without those food cravings." João's experience shows that change can be surprisingly rewarding and effective. If this first revelation about the power of legumes has already made you rethink your food choices and opened your eyes to new possibilities, know that we are just beginning to unlock the transformative potential of plant-based proteins for diabetes management. This kind of knowledge, which comes from practical experience in the clinic and scientific validation, is what truly empowers you to take charge of your own health in a conscious and proactive way. If what I'm sharing here makes sense to you, bringing you a glimmer of hope and clarity where there was once only doubt and frustration, I invite you with all my heart to join this community that seeks more knowledge, more control, and above all, a better quality of life. Leave a like on this video right now because that is an important signal for us and helps us bring this essential and transformative message to even more people who desperately need it. And please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our future conversations, which are carefully prepared to guide you every step of the way on your journey toward a more conscious, healthy, and, above all, free life. Now, let's move on to the second plant-based protein that I call the versatile and robust builder. It is small in size, but incredibly powerful in its nutritional profile, capable of providing a complete range of essential amino acids, something rare and valuable in the plant world, and is also packed with other nutrients vital for the proper functioning of your body. I'm talking about quinoa. Often mistaken for a common grain, quinoa is actually a seed, a pseudo-cereal, and is classified as a complete protein source. This means that it contains all 9 essential amino acids that your body cannot produce on its own and must therefore obtain through food. What makes quinoa such a valuable, versatile, and robust builder for people living with diabetes? In addition to being a complete, highly bioavailable protein, it has a low glycemic index, which means that its carbohydrates are released slowly into the bloodstream, and it is extraordinarily rich in fiber, both soluble and insoluble, magnesium, phosphorus, manganese, and folic acid. The synergistic combination of protein and fiber in quinoa works powerfully. It significantly slows down the digestion and absorption of carbohydrates, which is essential for preventing those sudden and dangerous post-meal glucose spikes. It's as if quinoa creates a natural, intelligent barrier, releasing energy gradually, steadily, and in a controlled manner, preventing overload and stress on your pancreas. Think of quinoa as a premium, advanced engineering building material for your body. If you were building a sturdy, long-lasting bridge, you wouldn't use just one type of beam. You would use a smart combination of materials that would ensure maximum strength, flexibility, and durability. Quinoa provides exactly this complete combination of beams, the essential amino acids that your body needs for cell repair, tissue building, muscle maintenance, and efficient metabolic functioning, all without destabilizing your glucose. Science validates these benefits. A study published in the respected Journal of Medicinal Food highlighted quinoa's multiple benefits for metabolic health, including improved glycemic response in healthy individuals and, more importantly, in patients with diabetes. Quinoa's versatility is undoubtedly one of its greatest attractions in the kitchen. You can use it in countless creative ways, as a nutritious and tasty substitute for rice in your main meals. Add it to cold or warm salads. Prepare a protein-packed and nutritious porridge for breakfast to start your day with stable energy. Or even use it in whole grain bread, cake, and cookie recipes. The key here is smart and strategic substitution. Swapping refined high-glycemic carbohydrates for quinoa in your meals can make a significant difference not only in your glucose stability, but also in how full you feel and your energy levels throughout the day. I remember Maria, a patient who struggled for a long time with controlling her hunger between meals. She told me she felt constantly empty and ended up snacking on foods that, without realizing it, raised her glucose levels. I suggested she try replacing white rice with quinoa in some meals and eat healthy snacks with quinoa mixed with vegetables. Within a few weeks, she excitedly told me that she felt much fuller and that her sudden hunger pangs had decreased dramatically. Her eyes sparkled when she said, "Doctor, I didn't even know what quinoa was before, and now I can't live without it. My glucose is more stable than ever, and I feel lighter, more energized, and, above all, much more satisfied with my meals." Maria's story illustrates the transformative power of quinoa in promoting satiety, glycemic stability, and overall well-being. Your journey with diabetes doesn't have to be an endless series of frustrations and sacrifices. I'm here to share with you the practical knowledge I've gained over years of practice, seeing what really works for real people like you. I know it can be challenging to change old habits and beliefs, but the reward is a life with more energy, more mental clarity, and far fewer worries about the complications of diabetes. If this conversation is helping you see things in a new light, and if you have any questions or experiences to share about your food choices, please let me know in the comments below. Which plant-based protein do you already use or plan to try after today? Your participation enriches our community and helps me understand what is most relevant to you. Let's do this together, building a path to health and well-being. We've reached the third plant-based protein on our list, which I call the magic seed of stability and protection. It's tiny in size, but incredibly concentrated in powerful nutrients, and has been increasingly recognized, and rightly so, for its remarkable benefits, especially for those seeking to control blood sugar and protect the body as a whole. I'm talking about chia and flax seeds. Although they are not exclusively proteins, they offer a significant amount of good quality vegetable protein, as well as being very rich in fiber, both soluble and insoluble, and omega-3 fatty acids, which are essential for health. What makes them magical and so beneficial for diabetics? The answer lies in their unique and synergistic combination of soluble fiber and omega-3. When chia and flax seeds, and here it is crucial to emphasize, flax must be consumed ground so that its nutrients can be absorbed, come into contact with liquids in your digestive tract, the soluble fiber they contain forms a viscous, gelatinous gel. This gel acts as a physical and intelligent barrier in the intestine, significantly slowing down the digestion and absorption of carbohydrates and, consequently, glucose into the bloodstream. It's like a natural shock absorber for your glucose, preventing sudden spikes and ensuring a more gradual and controlled release of energy. In addition, omega-3, a type of healthy fat abundant in these seeds, has powerful and proven anti-inflammatory properties. It works by fighting silent chronic inflammation, which is one of the main aggravating factors of diabetes and its long-term complications, such as cardiovascular disease and neuropathies. Think of these seeds as nature's little packets of nutritional engineering. They are designed to release their nutrients in a controlled and efficient manner, providing not only immediate benefits in glucose control, but also lasting benefits for your overall health. The science confirms it. A study published in the renowned European Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that regular consumption of flax seeds can lead to significant improvements in glycemic control and reduced insulin resistance in patients with type 2 diabetes. The best way to incorporate chia into your diet is by adding it to unsweetened plain yogurt, nutritious smoothies, whole grain breakfast cereals, or by making a delicious and nutritious chia pudding, which can be prepared the night before. For flaxseed, it is absolutely crucial to consume it freshly ground, as the outer shell of the seed is too hard to be digested intact by the human system, and grinding ensures that the precious omega-3 fatty acids and fiber are effectively absorbed by your body. You can add ground flaxseed to whole grain breads and cakes, sprinkle it on fresh salads, or mix it into your smoothies and green juices. The key to reaping the benefits is regularity in consumption and moderation in portions. 1 to 2 tablespoons per day is usually sufficient and effective. I vividly remember Pedro, a patient who suffered from persistent glucose spikes after breakfast, which left him feeling sleepy and lacking in energy. I suggested he try adding a tablespoon of ground chia or flaxseed to his plain yogurt or morning cereal. Within a few weeks, he excitedly told me that his glucose levels after breakfast were much more stable and that he felt fuller for longer, avoiding the need to snack before lunch. He said with a sparkle of surprise in his eyes, "Doctor, it's amazing how something so small can make such a big difference to my day. My energy is more consistent, and I no longer feel that sugar crash that used to knock me down." Pedro's story is a simple but powerful example of the impact these magic seeds can have on promoting glycemic stability and overall well-being. It is important to emphasize, and I do so with all the responsibility of an experienced physician, that while these plant proteins and dietary strategies are powerful allies in your diabetes management, they are not a substitute for professional medical advice and follow-up. If you already have a diagnosis of diabetes, any pre-existing health conditions, or are taking medications, it is absolutely imperative that you always consult your doctor or a qualified nutritionist before making any significant and drastic changes to your diet. Every body is unique, every metabolism responds differently, and personalizing your treatment plan is the key to long-term success, and above all, to your safety. My intention here is to equip you with knowledge, solid information, and practical tips so that you can have a more informed, proactive, and productive conversation with your healthcare provider, becoming an active and conscious agent in your own healing journey. The complexity of managing diabetes can be overwhelming, I know. There is so much information, so many details, so many variables to consider, and each body reacts in a unique and individual way. I see this every day in my office. Patients who are trying their hardest, seeking information, trying everything, but often feeling lost in the vast amount of information available and the practical difficulty of integrating it all into a routine that is already challenging in itself. They often ask me, with a mixture of hope and despair in their voices, "Doctor, everything you explain about smart eating, the importance of exercise, and now the power of plant-based proteins makes incredible sense to me. I understand the logic and I really want to do it, I really do, but how do I put all these pieces together in a cohesive way? How do I organize all of this in my busy life, which already has so many commitments and responsibilities? Isn't there an easier, more integrated, more practical, and more guided way to make all of this work in my daily life?" And the answer, based on all of my decades of experience observing what truly transforms people's lives in a lasting way, is yes, there is. After years of evaluating and researching different approaches, testing what really works for most people, and above all, dedicating myself to simplifying processes that seem too complex, I can say with confidence that a complete, integrated, and easy-to-implement solution is the most effective and sustainable path to true and lasting transformation. This ideal solution that I seek and recommend to my patients must follow some key principles, which are the non-negotiable pillars of any recommendation I make as a medical specialist. It must be based on solid, up-to-date scientific evidence, ensuring that each component works synergistically and efficiently to optimize glycemic control, reduce systemic inflammation throughout the body, and strengthen your health from the inside out, promoting overall vitality. Above all, it must offer the convenience and practicality that your busy life demands, without requiring you to become an expert in advanced nutrition, endocrinology, or complex healthy cooking techniques overnight. And finally, it needs to be safe, reliable, and adaptable, recognizing that each individual is unique, that each body responds in a particular way, and that each person's journey is personal, singular, and different. That's why I want to guide you toward an approach that I have personally evaluated with the utmost rigor and discernment, whose results I have tracked in various clinical settings and controlled scientific studies, and which I fully trust for most of my patients seeking effective control and improvement in their quality of life. It is a protocol, a tested and proven methodology, which I recommend to many of them for its unique ability to condense the benefits of everything we have discussed today, including the vital importance of plant proteins, optimized nutrition with strategic food choices, and other crucial and complementary elements for the complete management of diabetes, into a format that not only drastically simplifies your journey, but also gives you the security and certainty that you are making the right choices without information overload, without the need for exhaustive research or unnecessary effort. Think of it as a reliable, intelligent shortcut, validated by science and clinical practice, to your well-being, a path that has already been carefully paved with scientific knowledge, real-world practical experience, and proven results in patients. This path is designed to take you from point A, where there is lack of control, frustration, and worry, to point B, where there is control, vitality, and peace of mind, in the most direct, efficient, and safe way possible. You can find all the information you need about this solution, which I call an essential guide to diabetes control and full recovery of your quality of life, by clicking on the link in the description of this video and also in the first pinned comment. This is a decisive step, an invaluable investment in your health and your future, which can save you a lot of trial and error, unnecessary frustration, and guide you towards more effective, peaceful, and above all, more sustainable and long-lasting diabetes control. Diabetes, my dear friend, does not have to be a sentence of painful restrictions, constant uncertainty, chronic fatigue, or an exhausting and lonely daily struggle. It is, however, a condition that, with the right knowledge, the right actions, and crucially, the smart nutritional choices we have just explored, can be controlled and, in many cases, even significantly improved and stabilized, allowing you to take back control of your life and enjoy every moment with vitality, energy, mental clarity, and a sense of well-being that you may not even remember having. Today, we have seen the transformative power of legumes, quinoa and chia and flax seeds, your silent and powerful allies in controlling glucose and building robust health. Remember the real and inspiring stories of João, Maria, and Pedro. They are living, emotional proof that small changes, when made based on the right knowledge, with consistency, patience, and the right guidance, can bring about huge and truly liberating transformations in your health, your mindset, and your quality of life. My mission, as a doctor who has dedicated decades to understanding and treating this complex condition and the pain it causes, is to empower you with this knowledge and offer you the most effective, safe, and practical ways to live a full, vibrant, and active life despite diabetes. I firmly believe that quality information is the first, but most crucial, step toward change, and conscious, informed action is what brings that change into your reality. If this video has brought you clarity, if it has lit a flame of hope within you where there was only darkness before, and if it has given you new breath and motivation for your journey, know that you are not alone on this path. There is a growing community of people seeking a healthier, more controlled life and knowledge that really matters, and I am here, in this digital office, to guide you every step of the way. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do so now so you don't miss the next step in this ongoing journey of knowledge and transformation. And if you know someone, a friend, a family member, a coworker, or anyone else who is also struggling with diabetes or prediabetes, someone who would feel relieved to know that there is an easier, more effective, and more hopeful path, please share this video. Spreading this message of knowledge, hope, and empowerment is an act of love and can literally change someone's life forever. Together, we can build a healthier and happier future for many.